Hey Scorpio, this is your reading for September 2017. I know it's really late. Um, I've sort of just been thinking about like what the future of this channel is going to be because for some reason, I could barely do it last semester. Take my classes and do my readings, as well as doing it now. Um, and I had a pretty bad semester last semester, and like this time, I'm really putting all my work into school, um, into my actual job. So like this part of my life is still kind of like unfocused, as far as having the time to do these readings and putting them on YouTube. But also like I love it, but like of course like a part of me is always like doing it in person more. Um, and I'm not gonna get rid of this channel, but it's just that I feel like I could do. I want to change how I want to change how I do this. So like I might just I might start like doing a series where I explain the cards, and I want to go back into like my astrology stuff, the videos I sort of started doing when I started this channel. But then I kind of got, not sidetracked by tarot because, tarot is important to me, but I feel like I want to explore other avenues. And I'm not as organized as a person or as diligent as a person to be able to do this and do other things to my channel. I kind of want to focus on one thing. I think maybe astrology, or at least talking about what the cards mean, because I feel like I haven't explored that. And so it's always weird when, especially if you're not that familiar with tarot, when I'm saying like, oh, well, the Ace of Swords in reverse, I'd like to explain what the Ace of Swords means, for people, like you who are watching that aren't, if you are familiar with tarot, if you aren't, because I feel like everybody could be a tarot reader. So, I at least want to give people those skills to do it themselves, because it is really, I like it. It's very eye-opening. And you learn so much of yourself through other people. Like I learned different interpretations through doing these and through doing private readings. If you want a private reading, you can email me. And I'll still try to keep it like I'll get it to you within a week, which is what I have. But as far as, these videos, I am going to crank out the October videos as quickly as I can. I'm going to make time for that, just so I can be back on track again. Anyway, sorry for that long sort of ramble, Scorpio, as if you guys care. So let's get right to the cards. I'm using Tarot of the Apocalypse deck, as well as a Whispers of Love card at the very end. So we have King of Pentacles in reverse, in the center of the reading. We have Prince of Pentacles. We have Four of Wands. We have Four of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse. The Star. Nine of Wands. And these two cards came out at the same time, so I kept them both. We have the Five of Cups and the Ace of Cups. And the outcome is the World. In an additional card, we have the Eight of Swords. So obviously I'm feeling, tension, and I'm feeling conflict, some sort of disharmonious conflict in terms when it comes to communication. It's not, I feel like this isn't really explosive. I feel like this is something that has been happening for a while. And it's a home relationship. So this could be somebody that you're dating, somebody that you're married to, a family member, because there's a prevalence of pentacles as well. I'm really getting the sense that, a lot of you have lost faith, lost hope when it comes to actually being able to communicate with somebody, being able to, or somebody feels that of you where it's just like you're so distant from them, you're so unwilling to open up, unwilling to change, that it's very stressful for that other person. Excuse me. Or you feel that about somebody else, where it's just like, excuse me, it's difficult. There's this power dynamic where, you know, there's one person I feel like that is more hopeful than the other, that has more investment in the relationship on a practical level, whereas the other person isn't, you know, obviously, and I feel like probably most of the financial decisions are going through them. So maybe right now you guys are either in a period of where finances aren't great right now and things are just sort of tense, or it could be the other side of that, where finances are pretty good, but it's like this person, especially if you're married, they're only concerned about money. They're only concerned about, you know, doing things that are, you know, they're on a material level, you know, probably like fixing the house and doing all this other stuff, but not really being a part of the family. You know, they're always either working or you never really hear from them, and you can't really talk to them in any sort of way. And this has left you really down because, you know, this is a solid relationship that you guys have, but it's like the dynamics of it have, you know, I feel like the gulf between actually being able to communicate with this person has grown wider. You know, if you're dating somebody, I feel like you are probably more eager to move things along than they are. And there is tension there, or either they're moving quicker than you. Either way, it's just like on one hand, you might entertain the idea. I feel like for some of you, you're probably giving mixed signals. You're probably doing that on purpose, just to mask the fact that, you know, you are deeply unhappy about either, you know, a love relationship not going in the way you wanted it to, love relationships not flourishing. You know, I feel like for some of you, it's you know, it feels like you're constantly hedging your bets, where it's you see such potential and such promise in someone or something or some concept. You know, it could be beyond love. I'm seeing a lot of love here, but obviously it could be in terms of like, you know, of your work career, or of like your higher aspirations, where it's just like, you know, I see you guys probably sizing yourselves up, being like, well, where was I a year ago or 6 months ago? And, you know, what do I need to improve? I feel like that could be a message if you aren't thinking that way. Especially if it comes like there is like one other person or there's a group of people that I feel like you either haven't addressed the problem correctly, or maybe the decision's already been made for you, whether or not these are people to go back to, this is a person to go back to. And there's probably a part of yourself that is questioning that, where, you know, if you are a person that wants to sort of mend broken fences, you know, and to try to make something work again, there's a lesson in that either your communication style has to change, or you have to question yourself, is it even really worth it to go back to try to fix something that's been broken? For others of you, it's you've burned that bridge, or you've left that behind. So now it's a matter of healing from that and understanding where you need to go and moving forward. That there are some things that you've been holding on to that you've let affect you, that you've let impact your day-to-day decisions, impact your current communications. You know, I feel like you're probably chewing these instances over too many times, to the detriment of actually being able to resolve what needs to be fixed. You know, being able to rebuild your own foundation, being able to rebuild your self-esteem, your own self-worth. or at least channel that into something that is productive, um, which is more of a Scorpio sort of thing, where you have on the lower end, you can have all these obsessions that are sort of destroying you from the inside, and you may not realize it. But it's like when you're able to harness those that energy um, into things that are more befitting of your health and of improving your well-being, then that will lead to a transformation in your environment, in your living situation. We have the world on top of the Four of Wands. What you consider your home, what you consider, your state of balance. I feel like you're trying to work on that balance, and it's important to understand that you fought hard and you've come a long way. The Knight of Wands. I thought of a different interpretation of this card when I was giving myself a reading. I was just pulling cards, and it's like knowing that you have that courage to sort of. I mean, this isn't a new. I forgot what the interpretation was, but it was sort of along the lines of where it's like, don't be pessimistic. Don't be your own worst enemy. Don't be your own sort of the own person standing in your way, because I feel like we can be so protective of ourselves, and be so defensive, where instead of using that as a strength, we use that as a weakness, and we're not able to sort of the whole point of the Nine of Wands is to understand that we have our breaking points, we have our limits, and once you've crossed this line, there's no coming back. And so it's really about truly living that out, truly understanding that, especially if it's over a love lost, or if it's over some sort of, again, it could be something that happened in the past where it's just like, it was really distressing, or it was like really, it was a moment that sort of made you realize that you had to transform beyond this. And it's like, even if you didn't realize it, the universe realized it for you and sort of forced you into this different course of your life. And so it's like you kind of have to take what you've been given, the circumstance of that, and heal through that, transform with that in a way that is very Scorpionic, where it's like you're healing your pain by connecting with what gives you so much stress, and using that to your benefit. It's sort of like how creative people, creative in anything, in science or in art, where it's like you're sort of putting all your vulnerability into this passion, and it hurts at first, but the more you connect with it, the more it transforms you. And I only know about that in like I don't know the full experience of that, and that's something that I'm still trying to connect with, because it is hard, but it's at least worth the effort, because I feel like a lot of breakthroughs can be gained through that by understanding what your weaknesses are, Scorpio. So the card I pulled here from the Whispers of Love Oracle deck is Love is All Around You. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. And this kind of reminds me of a Björk song. She's Scorpion. She's a Scorpio too. She has a song called All Is Full of Love. And yeah, love is all around you. And so don't be the person that, don't be your own worst critic to the point where it's like impeding your relationship with other people, wherein you're taking out all of your insecurities on other people, and you're probably shaming and victimizing yourself in the process. You're not able to assess your past history in terms of where you've been and where you are. And if, things are similar to where they were, 6 months, a year ago, what do you need to change? What isn't working? What are you on, getting to the root of your unhappiness and understanding what you need to do to change it, and what you need to allow in your life to change it. This Ace of Cups is here for a reason. I didn't really mention that much, but, it sort of goes to this love is all around you. Recognize your blessings, because honestly, at the end of the day, life is entirely too short, or you don't want to be miserable your whole life. So thank you so much, Scorpio. I will see you guys next week. I will try, but you know, I made a promise to myself. You know, I let schoolwork get the best of me, but I won't let that happen. So, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next week. Bye.